During this week in Pokemon Go, we are of course going to be seeing the finale of the winter holiday event kickoff, and we're also going to be seeing a lot of really cool stuff coming to Pokemon Go. And I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So we have the winter holiday event already kicked off within Pokemon Go, and of course it's broken out into two parts. The first part is currently ongoing, but part 2 is actually going to be starting during this week. And then on the weekend, we're going to be getting a special winter weekend, and it's tied to the Go Pass that is currently available, and specifically tied to the winter holiday event. So overall, it's going to be a fairly busy week, but there isn't too much crazy content for you to focus in on. It's all about the winter holiday event. So a bunch of new costume Pokemon, and of course a bunch of costume shinies that are available, as well as a brand new Pokemon. And let's first talk about all of that. Let's go over the details for the Winter Holiday Part 2 event. The Winter Holiday Part 2 event is going to kick off on December 24th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, which is actually exactly when Part 1 is going to end, and then it's going to go on until December 29th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. Now, the featured Pokemon for this event include Eevee wearing a holiday hat, along with Dedenne wearing holiday attire, as well as Raleigh. And both of these costume Pokemon, Eevee and Dedenne, are going to have an increased shiny chance during this event, and Raleigh is actually a brand new Pokemon making its debut. Now, let's talk about the event bonuses, because this is all stuff you do want to pay attention to. Catching Pokemon in the wild may award different items. This includes charge TMs and fast TMs, along with silver pineapple berries, golden raspberries, and rare candy, which is absolutely insane. You'll also have an increased chance to encounter shiny Stantler wearing a holiday outfit, as well as shiny Dedenne wearing holiday attire. Now, continuing on from the part 1 of the holiday event, the Go Pass for the winter holiday is going to have various bonuses that are going to be unlocked with each tier. At tier 1, you're going to have double the amount of experience from sending gifts, and if you have the deluxe version, you're going to get double the amount of Stardust whenever you open gifts. And then if you reach tier 2, you're going to have additional items that will be given to you whenever you open gifts, and with the deluxe version, you're going to have a half egg hatch distance bonus. And then finally, when you reach tier 3, you're going to get 50% more experience from winning raid battles, and then double the amount of experience from catching Pokemon if you have the deluxe version. And there's also going to be field research tasks during this event, which is going to give you Stardust along with encounters with event-themed Pokemon. I'm really hoping that some of the costume Pokemon are going to be included as research task rewards, because that would be really cool. Alright, and next up, let's talk about the brand new Pokemon that's going to be making its debut, and this is of course Raleigh. You can evolve Raleigh into Karkle for 25 candy, and then you could evolve Karkle into Colossal with 100 candy. This is a very standard 2-stage evolution Pokemon, and I'm wondering if any of these Pokemon are going to be any good for either PvP or PvE. So definitely pay attention to that. I do think this is going to be a very interesting Pokemon specifically for this event. And then, in terms of how you could get Raleigh as well as Raleigh candies, let's talk about the wild encounters during part 2. First, you'll be able to encounter Galarian Darumaka, Bergmite, as well as Total, and then as an uncommon spawn, you're going to see the costume Dedenne with a boosted shiny rate. That's pretty cool, and then as well as Raleigh. Now, of course, they did mention that the shiny rate is going to be increased for Dedenne, but I do think it's not going to be anything close to something you would see for, like, let's say a community day. So definitely keep that in mind. Don't be disappointed, definitely temper your expectations. It's probably going to be a shiny rate of like 1 in 64 or something similar, and it's not necessarily going to be something that will be guaranteed during this event. And also, Dedenne is going to be a bit of an uncommon spawn. And then let's talk about what's going to be spawning in raid battles. First off, in 1-star raids, you're going to encounter Alolan Sandshrew, Galarian Darumaka, as well as the new Pokemon Roly-Coly. And of course, 1-star raids could net you a shiny version of either Alolan Sandshrew or Galarian Darumaka. If you're looking for a high IV shiny of either of those Pokemon, then 1-star raids is where you will likely get them. And then when it comes to 3-star raids, we're going to see Galarian Mr. Mime, Sudowoodo wearing a holiday attire, which is from part 1, and then Chargebug wearing holiday attire, which is also from part 1 of this year's holiday event. And then hatching in 7-kilometer eggs, we are going to see Pichu wearing a festive hat, Smoochum, Cubchoo wearing a holiday ribbon, Cryogonal, as well as Snow. Alright, and finally, let's talk about the winter weekend, which is going to be starting on December 27th at 10 o'clock a.m. and then it's going to go until December 28th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. You're going to be seeing the following event bonuses during this weekend. There's going to be no limit to how many Go points you can earn every single day, so this will be your chance to complete the Winter Holiday Go Pass. Bonus daily quests for your Go Pass Winter Holiday is also going to be unlocked, and then you're going to have an increased chance to encounter Shiny Eevee wearing a holiday hat from Timed Research. And then speaking of the timed research, these are the rewards that they're going to give you. You're going to get experience, Stardust, and then of course, encounters with Eevee wearing a holiday hat. Alright, and now let's switch gears and talk about the weekly content, starting with Max Battles. So, for Max Monday tonight, we're going to be having one featuring the Pokemon Spheal, and you're also going to be able to get Spheal in Max Battles throughout this week. This is going to be an interesting one because it's not necessarily that powerful as a Dynamax Pokemon, but it is definitely a collector's item, and there is a potential for you to pick up a shiny as well. And then in 5-star raids, we're actually going to be getting Zekrom in 5-star raids starting today, December 22nd, and this is a pretty decent one. We are going to be getting a Fusion Raid Day next month, so it'd be good if you were to collect some Zekroms to be ready for that. That is going to be available in Legendary Raids, so make sure you do not miss out on that. Moving right along, let's go over Mega Evolution Raids. Coinciding with Zekrom, we're going to be getting Mega Golele, and this is a really good Ice-type Mega Evolution, and there's not many of those. I would suggest getting Mega Energy for this Mega Evolution if you still do not have it, because there are going to be cases where you will want to use an Ice type, and having this Mega Evolution is definitely going to benefit you. And then of course, this weekend, we're going to continue to have Shadow Heatran in 5-star Shadow Legendary Raids. This is a very powerful Shadow Legendary, and you obviously do not want to miss out on that. And then in regards to this week's Spotlight Hour, it's going to be featuring the Pokemon Spheal, just like with Max Battles, but you're also going to get a 2x evolution bonus with this Spotlight Hour. And I will say this is probably one of those Spotlight Hours where you don't necessarily have to pay attention to it. It's basically for a Pokemon that is kind of irrelevant at this point, even within PvP. And then of course, the evolution experience bonus is probably the one thing that you will want to utilize, especially if you're trying to get experience for leveling up. Alright, and that of course leaves us with the Go Battle League. These are the leagues that are going to be active during this week. Up until this Tuesday, December 23rd, we're going to continue to have the Open Master League along with the Holiday Cup Great League Edition. And then afterwards, until the end of the week, we're going to have the Open Great League along with the Holiday Cup Ultra League Edition. So this is going to be a pretty decent week of PvP. I do think the Open Master League and the Open Great League are very popular leagues. It would be a great opportunity for you to get some rankings so that you could get your Pikachu Libre. Alright, and there you have it. That's pretty much everything going on during this week. It's not necessarily a packed week. It's just all about this winter holiday event. And yeah, I really like that because of course this week is a week where a lot of people are going to be visiting family. They're going to be spending time with loved ones, and because of that, they may not necessarily have a lot of time playing Pokemon Go. So it's going to be a bit chill. If you have a couple of hours here and there, make sure you go out and catch some of those costume Pokemon because we won't be seeing them for a while, and they're actually quite fun. So yeah, and anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Is there something in particular during this week that interests you? And are you going to be spending some time playing Pokemon Go, or are you going to be focusing on other things? Definitely share what that is, and yeah, let's have a great discussion. And yeah, before you leave this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here, and of course, check out all the links that are in the description below. There's a lot of really cool stuff related to my Patreon page, where if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, you can go and check that out. And of course, a bunch of other stuff like my Etsy store. So yeah, go to the description below and check all that out, and that's the conclusion of this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Jinsula